Imagine waking up 40,000 years ago. The morning hunt is over. You've repaired your spear. The fire is still burning. There's food to eat. Your family is safe. The sun is still high in the sky. Now what? Today, the answer is easy. We reach for our phones, watch a movie, play a game, scroll through social media. But none of those things existed for our ancestors. No books, no television, no internet, no music players. Just hours of daylight and the endless wilderness. So did ancient humans ever get bored? At first, the answer seems obvious. How could people struggling to survive possibly have time to be bored? For decades, that's exactly what many scientists believed. Life in the Stone Age was imagined as an endless cycle of hunting, gathering, and escaping danger. Every day was thought to be a desperate fight for survival. But over the last few decades, anthropologists studying modern hunter-gatherer societies have uncovered something surprising. Many groups don't spend every waking hour searching for food. Once the day's essential work is finished, they often have several hours of free time. They talk, rest, play with children, repair tools, visit neighboring families, and simply enjoy each other's company. If our ancestors lived in similar ways, they may have experienced something we rarely associate with prehistoric life: leisure. And where there's leisure, there's the possibility of boredom. But boredom isn't just about having nothing to do. It's the feeling that pushes the human brain to seek something new, to explore, to create, to imagine. Some psychologists even argue that boredom is one of the driving forces behind creativity. If that's true, then boredom may have helped shape human history itself. Archaeology offers an intriguing clue. Around 100,000 years ago, early humans at Blombos Cave in South Africa began engraving simple geometric patterns onto pieces of red ochre. These markings served no obvious survival purpose. They weren't tools, they weren't weapons. Someone took the time to create them. Thousands of years later, humans carved beads from shells, decorated their clothing, and crafted ornaments that had little practical value. These discoveries suggest that once survival needs were met, people began doing something extraordinary. They created things simply because they wanted to. But the most fascinating evidence of all wouldn't appear on stone tools or ancient jewelry. It would appear deep inside dark caves, where ancient humans covered the walls with paintings that continue to amaze us tens of thousands of years later. The deepest clues aren't found in ancient campsites. They're hidden inside caves. Across Europe, archaeologists have discovered walls covered with paintings that are more than 30,000 years old. At sites like Chauvet Cave in France, artists carefully painted lions, rhinoceroses, horses, and mammoths with incredible detail. Hundreds of kilometers away, in Lascaux Cave, ancient people filled entire chambers with images of bulls, deer, and wild horses. Creating these paintings wasn't quick. Artists had to collect minerals like charcoal and ochre, grind them into pigments, mix them with water or animal fat, and carry them deep into caves where there was almost no natural light. So why go through all that effort? The paintings didn't provide food. They didn't make better weapons. They didn't build shelters. Yet generation after generation returned to these caves. Some researchers believe the paintings had spiritual or ceremonial meaning. Others think they helped teach young hunters about animals. But one thing is certain, these people were spending valuable time creating something that wasn't essential for survival. And cave art wasn't the only sign. In Hohle Fels cave in Germany, archaeologists discovered a flute carved from the wing bone of a vulture. It's over 35,000 years old, making it one of the oldest known musical instruments ever found. Think about what that means. Someone sat down, carefully carved holes into a hollow bone, and created music. Not to hunt, not to build tools, simply to produce sound. Music may have filled prehistoric camps long before the first cities ever existed. Archaeologists have also uncovered beads made from shells, animal teeth, and ivory across Africa and Europe. These ornaments took hours to make. They served no practical purpose. Instead, they allowed people to express identity, beauty, or belonging. By this point, a different picture of prehistoric life begins to emerge. Ancient humans weren't working every minute of every day. When food was gathered and the fire was burning, they had moments to create, decorate, perform, and imagine. Perhaps they laughed, perhaps they sang, perhaps they challenged one another with games or contests that have long been forgotten. Whatever they did, it reminds us of something important. Humans don't just survive, we create. But there's one final mystery. If ancient people really had free time, could boredom itself have been one of the greatest forces behind human creativity and civilization? So, did ancient humans ever get bored? We'll never know exactly what they were thinking. But archaeology suggests they did something remarkable whenever they had time. They created. Modern psychologists describe boredom as the feeling that pushes us to seek something new. It encourages exploration, creativity, and problem-solving. Without it, people are less likely to experiment or imagine different possibilities. If the same was true for our ancestors, boredom may have been far more than an uncomfortable feeling. It may have helped shape the human story. Think about it. At some point, someone picked up a piece of red ochre and drew a pattern onto a rock. Someone carved the first bead from a shell. Someone discovered that a hollow bird bone could produce music. None of these inventions helped catch an animal that same day, yet each one changed human culture forever. Over thousands of years, simple moments of curiosity may have led to art, music, decoration, storytelling, and eventually civilization itself. Researchers studying modern hunter-gatherer societies have noticed that leisure time often strengthens social relationships. People gather around the fire, they tell stories, dance, sing, teach children, solve disagreements, and share experiences from the day's hunt. These activities don't fill empty time. They strengthen the group. A community that laughs together, learns together, and creates together is often better prepared to survive difficult times. In other words, free time wasn't wasted. It was invested. Perhaps that's why humans became so different from every other animal. Many species can solve problems. Some use tools. A few even communicate in surprisingly complex ways. But humans took one extra step. We imagined things that didn't yet exist. A painting before there was a canvas. A melody before there was an audience. A story before there was writing. Those ideas didn't appear because someone was running from danger. They appeared during the quiet moments in between. The moments when survival wasn't demanding every second of attention. The next time you find yourself saying, "I'm bored," remember this. That feeling may have followed humanity for tens of thousands of years. It may have inspired the first artist to paint a cave wall, the first musician to carve a flute, the first storyteller to gather children around a fire. Boredom isn't always the absence of something to do. Sometimes, it's the beginning of something entirely new. Perhaps ancient humans didn't fear boredom. Perhaps they used it. Because when there was nothing left to hunt, no tools left to repair, and the fire quietly burned beneath the stars, their greatest invention wasn't a sharper spear or a stronger shelter. It was imagination, and that simple ability to wonder, to create, and to dream may have been the reason our species didn't just survive the prehistoric world, it transformed it.